So tell me about the thing you touched that you probably shouldn't have picked up.
You need to baby-proof your house.
No, I don't need a baby. I don't even need to Becca-proof my house. Becca might want to think twice before picking up random things in my house, because random things in my house might be charged with energy.
Okay, usually things that are in your kitchen are fair game.
Okay, fair.
It's just sitting there next to your black licorice.
I hadn't moved it to my altar yet.
And I was like, how pretty, and I picked it up to put it on, and then my entire body filled with pain.
Well, it's not like it was attacking you.
I felt like it.
Okay, it felt like it was attacking you. Let's talk about that, because I get this question a lot where somebody will encounter something, and because it hurts them, they think that it's either evil or that it was personal, that it was actually like, you know, something about it was hurting them, actively trying to hurt them. And as somebody who's really sensitive, how many times do you pick something up and experience pain?
A lot.
How many times do you walk randomly through a battlefield or just down the street and suddenly like something brushes past you psychically and then you're on the ground?
Well, not okay, the ground. That's an extreme.
Trying not to be on the ground.
Okay, a lot.
A lot. Okay. So the thing to understand about that is just because you can feel it doesn't necessarily mean that the thing you are experiencing is actively working on you, because you are passively receiving it. So there's information. You always have to approach any psychic impressions on things first, purely as information. There's information recorded in this location, there is information recorded in this object, and when you pick that up as someone who's finely tuned, or even orbit its sphere and get close to it, you are receiving some of that information, you experience it. In your case, you are so hypersensitive that a lot of the stuff that you experience translates so overwhelmingly to you, as suddenly your heart's racing, you're in pain, you're overwhelmed by it. If you didn't have your training, you would probably conclude every time that the world is full of demons and they are all trying to eat you.
That's probably true.
But purely the matter of perspective, though. Again, information is neither good nor bad. While it may carry an experience for you that is not pleasant, much like if the cat slips and ends up on your...
Wait, Remy.
Hi, Remy.
Don't get
Really?
burned.
Remy has decided that he's going to be camera cat tonight. Okay.
Just don't put your claws in me.
Yeah, good luck with that. Sweetie cat.
Like he's stuck. He expected broader shoulder.
Yeah, he did.
Save me.
Come here, big boy. Ah. Don't take yourself on fire. Okay, so the question will be, when you go someplace and something overwhelms you, what's the first thing you've learned to do?
To try and close off from it.
Okay. And
Oh, I feel like I'm on the spot.
it's okay, it's okay. All right, so you close yourself off. Why are you closing yourself off?
So that I can kind of step back and pay attention to what's coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, did I answer the
Yes.
question right? Yay!
Experience it, and then analyze it.
Mm-hmm.
And in that analysis, you have to ask yourself, why am I experiencing what I'm experiencing? Now, you already have a pretty good barometer in terms of your experiences to know just because it hurts me doesn't necessarily mean it's trying to hurt me.
Right.
I mean, I can casually hurt you by doing that and just... Okay, so maybe I was kind of trying a little bit, but mostly just so I could make a point. Oh.
Poor Becca.
But really, that's just me. And I have had people who like walk into a room and they can feel the way my energy is past me, and they think I'm actively attacking them, when I'm really just like, nope, I'm just loud. I'm sorry, I'm really loud.
Yeah, when you were filming with Paranormal State and you would come and you would go, I could tell whenever you were even like a mile from the house.
Mm.
So you are loud.
I would play, actually, I have a friend down in Atlanta, and we will play this game. I go to Dragon Con in Atlanta, and it's got, I don't know, conservatively 75,000, maybe 80,000 people spread out between many, many hotels in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. It's like
That
Georgia's
sounds like
version.
hell.
You know, it was hard to deal with at first, but my friend would play this game of trying to psychically locate me in that crowd.
I could do it.
And he could. Usually within like 10-15 minutes he could find me.
I used to play that game at Walmart.
by following his nose. And it was a challenge to find me in the sea of people, just based on his ability to perceive my signature.
It's like you have a little, you know, these Sims where they have those little things above their heads.
The little plumb bob thing?
That's what I always looked for at Walmart.
I'm not a Sim.
But in the crowded Walmart, when I would get lost, like, where's Michelle?
This is good to know. I am in your head a Sim walking around with a little plumb bob. So you go into a location, you experience something, what you're experiencing is negative. It doesn't necessarily mean that the source that has inspired the experience is negative, so you step back, protect yourself, get yourself into a place where you can analyze from a place of calm what's going on, and then ask yourself the questions. Am I experiencing this because of me, or am I experiencing this because of the thing that is acting on me? That's, inside voice versus outside voice. Now that line is hard to navigate initially. Like it takes time and practice and a lot of experience. You have to kind of bang your head against it several times before you really figure out how it absolutely works. One thing that I will usually do is, if it's not actively trying to hit you or hurt you or interact with you, once you step back and you do that little shield, you won't feel it anymore until you put yourself back into its space, its sphere. Pick it up, touch it, walk through that room. If there is an intelligence behind it, it's still potentially not a malevolent one, but possibly a malevolent one. If there is an intelligence directing it, then it will try to go through those shields.
Someone that worked here that took women down here. Women patients.
Oh,
But out here, I got it.
it will try to continue to engage with you. So you will have something that is acting on you. Now again, simply because what you experience as a result of that action is unpleasant still doesn't necessarily mean that it is malevolent or evil or even trying to hurt you. Think about a toddler who is so delighted to have a cat that he's sitting there just petting the cat, and he has no intention to actually hurt the cat, but the cat is just sitting there like, oh God, please, if I close my eyes and hold still long enough, it will go away, please, right? It'll go away. To the cat, the toddler might actually be trying to hurt him as far as the cat's concerned. To the toddler, he is just going, I will love him and squeeze him and call him George.
That's true. At Penhurst, there were dead patients who would just bounce into me, and they didn't mean to hurt me, but it was very uncomfortable.
They don't necessarily know their own strength. They're not used to somebody who can feel like you can feel, and so they're maybe used to like going really, really loud to try to get through somebody, and you're just kind of like, oh my God, my ears, stop.
Exactly, yeah.
So always go into any of the situations with as neutral an opinion as possible. Don't assume that everything's out to get you. Step away, analyze, and then judge by how it is interacting with you. And if it's hurting you, like the patients at Penhurst, try communicating and saying, hey, that's too much. You're hurting me. And if they don't intend to hurt you, usually they will listen and stop. They will try to find a way to communicate that isn't going to overwhelm you. Now, if they're just being an asshole...
Actually, I haven't met a lot of people who are dead who are just jerks. Like, really, I haven't.
There's really not as many terrible things out there as people assume. People see things that are terrible because they don't know how to correctly assess the threat based simply on the fact that they can experience it. The very fact that they are experiencing something is so far beyond their realm of understanding that the experience itself is threatening, even when what is causing it is not in fact actually a threat. So learning accurate threat assessment with the paranormal is essential, well, heck, for keeping a cool head in a haunting, and then really understanding what you're dealing with. And eventually that will lead to having a little bit more compassion for what you're dealing with, because again, not everything's out to get you. It is not all about you or me. It's...
Oh, it is.
Because you're graceful.
That being said, I have met a lot of a-holes.
There are some out there.
There are some, but most of them are not. Even the ones who are a-holes in life are not always a-holes in death.
No. You know, there's always redemption. Things can learn to be better.
Yeah.